Shams made huge news when he said everyone could get traded except Steph Curry. Klay and Draymond, gone. Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski, see ya. But that's not what Shams actually said. There is a different, crazy plan even he hasn't mentioned. But before we reveal that, here's the actual quote from Shams.
Everyone but Steph Curry is on the table. That's their mindset. Now, realistically, there's an asterisk. Klay Thompson, would they want to keep him long-term and keep him in Golden State? I think that's been their hope. But Wiggins and everyone else on that roster except Steph Curry has to be in play for this team. Just under a month until the trade deadline, I think they will be active. Everyone but Steph Curry has to be in play.
Okay, so he said that has to be their mindset. He thinks everyone should be in play. That is not reporting that Golden State's put everyone on the table. There's a big difference between opinion and fact. Fact is what he does on Twitter. Like the Suns are closing in on a trade to acquire 13-time All-Star Kevin Durant. That was a fact. Opinion is what he says in these studio shows, mucking it up with Chandler Parsons. Now, it is an informed opinion, but not a fact. Then sites say, oh, the Warriors are willing to trade anyone but Steph Curry per Shams. No, he said that's what they should do, according to him. Not a fact. But Shams said this because the Dubs had an embarrassing loss to the Pels the last night. Obviously, something has to change. It was the second worst blowout in the Steph Curry era. The worst was by just 3 more points in 2020 when they won 15 games. They had a bottom 10 defense, just like this year. It's the only 2 times the D has been this bad. Their record against winning teams? 9-19. So people are using this to hate on Steph Curry. Never been more clear that Curry isn't the same without Draymond Green. Without 2 or 3 Hall of Fame teammates by his side, he just can't win at a high level. Yeah, newsflash, Chad. No one can. Michael Jordan didn't win a thing without Scottie Pippen. Kobe only won with prime Shaq, then prime Gasol. You could say Nikola Jokic, but at least Jamal Murray is in his prime. You know Chad doesn't listen to the brand new AM Hoops podcast because he never would have commented that. Steph hears all this. So he finally said what everyone is thinking. Look at how much is on his shoulders. When Steph goes off for 30 plus, they have the #1 record in the West. When he doesn't, they're worse than the Spurs. But Steph never complains. Until now. He said something that sounds more like a LeBron James quote than a Steph Curry. If things stay the same, that's the definition of insanity, right? Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Okay, that is a passive-aggressive LeBron way of saying, this sucks, make a move. But there's a big problem with that. How much value is on the Warriors roster? Klay is so worthless, they're showing a behind-the-back door lock as highlights now. Come on. Oh, and Andrew Wiggins? Take a look at the worst plus-minus on this team. 3rd from last, Klay Thompson. 2nd from last, Kevon Looney. Dead last, Wiggs. I know plus-minus isn't a perfect stat, but -179? That's in its own galaxy of terrible. Wiggs has 3 guaranteed years left on his deal. He is a negative asset. That means they would have to attach a pick to get rid of him. You ain't getting Pascal Siakam for Wiggs. So who does have value right now? It is the young guys of Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and B. Pods, plus Draymond Green. But according to reports, the Dubs don't want to move Kuminga. According to multiple sources, the Warriors are loath to trade Kuminga, who's seen as a potential star. Where have we heard that before? Kuminga is said to have a very close relationship with Warriors owner Joe Lacob. It's why Lacob went to the Steve Kerr press conference to hear himself why he benched Kuminga in the loss to the Nuggets. Lacob is married to the 2-timeline plan, and it's ruining this franchise. People so overvalue their own young players. Warrior fans, if Kuminga, Moses Moody, or Pods were on some other team, you wouldn't even know who they are. Example, James Wiseman. I said during his rookie year they should trade him, but you guys said I totally disagree. The kid's a generational talent. That's like telling the Lakers to get rid of Kobe Bryant after 1 year. Patience is key. A lot of comments said that. But guess what? Your young players are role players. And you're gonna hold back Steph Curry for that. But Draymond also has value. Now, his recent podcast didn't help much. He actually tried to sound like a victim again, saying that Steve Kerr came over, he cried, I cried. So the internet trolled him by making an image of them crying together in a padded room. That is next level. But seriously, Dre does have value to contending teams like the Lakers. Now, before we get to this crazy plan, the trade route needs 2 moves to happen. They need a good defender who can score points and a big man to play with Draymond if he's still on the team. So DeJounte Murray and Pascal Siakam make sense. It's a huge move that would need every asset. Rumors say the Warriors have spoke with Toronto about Pascal recently. They want to give up Chris Paul's salary, Moses Moody, and a pick. The Raptors want Kuminga, so no deal yet. They have about 30 more days to get this done. But plan number 2 is crazy. It would be painful, but would give Steph another chance at a title. The plan is to blow this team up to create cap space and sign big name free agents. Oh, but the Warriors don't have cap space. Oh, it can be done. They only do this if this season is hopeless. Like if they keep losing up to the trade deadline, why would they trade for Pascal to save the season? What season? So instead, they trade long-term contracts for expiring contracts. Here's how that works. They trade Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Kevon Looney's long-term money for someone who's about to come off the books. Then they don't pick up Chris Paul's non-guaranteed contract next year. So this summer, they have a wide open cap sheet to sign a ton of talented players. They would also have to renounce all their free agent cap holds, and there's no rookie money to worry about with no pick. Guys available are Pascal Siakam, LeBron James, Drew Holiday, Tobias Harris, DeMar DeRozan, OG Anunoby. Role players like Nick Claxton, Malik Monk, KCP, Miles Bridges, awkward, Buddy Hield, Bruce Brown, Tyus Jones, Mike Conley, and others. Look at this list. The Dubs could have enough to sign a max guy and a few role players. Then maybe they re-sign Clay as a free agent for cheap if he comes back. If they do this, the team will be worse this year. But is that a bad thing? The Warriors do not have this next draft pick unless it's in the top 4. They dealt it to Memphis to get off Andre Iguodala's contract back in 2019. Top 4 protected. With that, they got space for D'Angelo Russell, turn him into Andrew Wiggins, and that to a title, so it worked out. But the only way to keep the pick now is to tank. Another reason blowing it up makes sense is Steve Kerr walking away. Reports say the Dubs are not close on a new contract with their coach. If he leaves, maybe it is time to start fresh and rebuild around Steph Curry. But whatever they do, the Lakers want to sign good players too. They're going to have to outbid them. LA is in trouble as well, and the GM is working overtime to upgrade his roster.